How many of y'all under 21? How many of y'all know someone who attends college here and is under 21? Does anybody want to also comment on if they drink or know someone who attends college that's under 21 and also drinks? I don't think you would want to admit that, but I'm pretty sure almost everyone, if not the majority of people who attend college and are under the age of 21, consume alcoholic beverages. This is a reality for all colleges across the country. Overdrinking, sexual assault charges, jeopardizing young people's future due to fake IDs, the fear of getting in trouble for drinking so people don't seek medical attention, the cool factor of doing something illegal, legal double standards such as being in the draft. What do all these have in common? Young adults who are partake in drinking under the age of 21. Having heard all these stories and personally being involved in the exact same circumstances we all find ourselves in today, I fully believe that we need to change the drinking age to 18. Without change, everything is going to stay the same. Young adults are still going to be making the same mistakes they still are, as well as the same old broken laws will stay in place that don't work, and it's honestly frustrating. Today, I'm going to discuss the need of changing the drinking age to 18, what we can do to change it, and the outcomes I'll pursue after a change is made. I'm now going to tell you about why the drinking age needs to be changed to 18. It's pretty obvious that alcohol is the #1 choice drug among teenagers and young adults. Thank God it's not heroin, but it is alcohol, and that's where we are in today's society. With it being alcohol, there are complications such as overdrinking, drunk driving, the cool factor of something illegal, just to name a few. And a continuation of these events will only lead to a further down spiral of society when it comes to our youth. According to the National Institute of Health, underage drinkers consume on average 4 to 5 drinks per occasion, about 5 times a month. By comparison, drinkers aged 23 and older consume 2 to 3 drinks per occasion, about 9 times a month. While older drinkers drink more often, younger drinkers still consume more on average. Now, that might not seem like a big deal. However, when you think about how many of these underage drinkers are being peer pressured or have never drank or had multiple drinks in one sitting and simply not as used to drinking as older counterparts, a lot more can and will go wrong. According to linkspringer.com, overall adolescents who engage in binge drinking at more time points were to perpetrate sexual harassment and stalking and more likely to be victims of stalking and dating violence. This can stem from a number of reasons. One likely one could be education and experience with alcohol. Thus, if an individual was more experienced with their limits and not reach them from access to alcohol at a younger age, they could be way more out on the look for type of sexual harassment for both male and female. It's hard to control anyone putting anything into an alcoholic beverage, especially at a bar. But this only seems to logically increase if younger adults have to get someone older than them to purchase a drink for themselves. This just seems to be another malpractice of the drinking age law in action. Because when it comes to drinking alcohol and young adults, if there is a will, there is a way. It is very evident that this is a current problem in our society. But there are ways we can change such a dramatic law. Through our legislative, there are ways you can put an end to such a bad and hypocritical law. Fortunately, there are only a few ways we can go about changing this law. Firstly, we have the right to protest. Students and other members of America that feel the same about this law need to start a movement in order to get their voice heard in legislative branches of the government. With this being in-person protests, as well as a new age version of protests through social media. Also, according to senatetexas.gov, this is where you can find your Texas state representatives and Senate members. Through this website, you can email them or call them and let them know how you feel about any laws, especially this one. Because of the wide scope of social media and protests in today's age hold, the likeliness of this law changing is high if we all work together and the outcomes are very apparent. Because after this law is changed, the outcomes that presume will likely take effect very quickly and have a balanced effect on today's young society as we know it. According to playwicken.com, the drinking age of 21 has not decreased the amount of underage drinking as some expected when it was raised in the 1980s. All it actually did was push more drinking to be done secretly in more dangerous settings. If drinking were lower, the young adults could comfortably drink in safer settings, rather than large, unsupervised parties. This was one of the main driving forces to change the law, or for the law to be changed in the first place. But obviously, this has changed for the worse, not the better. Moreover, PlayWicken states, legal age 21 has not worked. Chatviz wrote in the Huffington Post in 2009, to be sure, drunk fatalities are now lower than they were in 1982, but they are lower in all age groups, and they have declined just as much in Canada, where the age is 18 or 19, as they have in the United States. There are even more outcomes that would be fixed with the changing of this law. According to BadgerHerald.com, they state if the drinking age was lowered, the concept of alcohol would be more normalized, and kids would be comfortable asking their parents questions regarding alcohol consumption. This increased knowledge could help kids understand certain dangers that they might not have previously been aware of. These dangers could range from mixing different types of alcohol to being aware of the different types of alcohol percentages. A lot of students begin drinking in college where they are in an unfamiliar place with strangers. A lower drinking age would mean be able to casually order alcohol at meals and have experience with it instead of starting with binge drinking. With your support, all of the extremely important changes to young society could become a reality for millions. Today I have discussed the need of changing drinking age to 18, what we can do to change such laws, and the outcomes I presume after a change is made. I encourage you all to contact your local and state representatives in order to change such a law. Your donation of your time and effort in order to admit changes will have a profound impact on society changes for a lifetime. We all want to live in a fair and safe society, and through changing laws like this one, I presented we all gain a step closer to that goal. This concludes my speech. I'm now opening the floor to questions and answers.